Cool. Well, welcome to the Beyond Cinema studio up here at Sundance. Nick, Mira, James, Bill. Firstly, congratulations on being at Slam Dance and having the fun associated with that. It is a different vibe than the rest of Park City. Yeah. Bill, I mean, you've been on every show on television by now, and so kind of turning the camera around and having this fun and then having it received by Slam Dance, which has had such a legacy with kind of first-time feature filmmakers and things like that.
Yeah.
Must feel pretty good.
It's very much an honor, and I can honestly say I wasn't expecting it. That was a surprise phone call.
Yeah.
When we got in. But now that we're here, it actually makes sense. Because of the sense of the community, the sense of madness, anarchy, and we made a Gonzo movie.
Yeah.
So it actually feels like exactly the right place to be.
Why? Like, what was it? What came first when you were making this film? Like, was it wanting to do something with puppetry and cardboard? Was it?
Practical effects were baked in from the beginning, for sure.
Yeah.
But I think it was just an ensemble of voices that I'd heard before, because I know a lot of nutty people. I know a lot of creative people. Clever people, and in the script, the early versions of the script were based on all the people we knew, and it just felt like I could steer that ship because I've been with those people before.
Yeah, and it seems like there were kind of a lot of kind of common alliances, like people who had worked with people before who pulled in on
it was very much a community. A lot of on the production design side, a lot of that came from Trisha Gum and John Sumner, who were at Stupid Buddy, and that's where a lot of the stop motion animation just kept growing once they got involved. And I had actually acted in Trisha Gum's thesis film when she was moving from stop motion into live action. So that all the production design side happened that way. Adam I knew from working before, Scott Krinsky would work before, OK Go, I used to be in rock bands, so I knew Tim from that.
Yeah.
And once those dominoes start to fall, more and more people start to say yes.
No, that's really cool. And James and Adam obviously have been on projects together a bunch. And what we found really interesting here as well is, like, you know, bringing in Nick, who is obviously a comedian as well, in a film that is like so off the wall. Like, what was that? What was the thought process behind that?
Yeah, why?
Yeah. What was I thinking?
And you probably chose the tallest guy to fit in the smallest.
Which I didn't know until I'd met him, but that was a very specific choice. We actually wanted Nick very early on for Dave because there's an Arrested Development to Dave, but you still have to have sympathy for him. And it wasn't just his sense of humor and the intelligence behind the silliness in his humor, which I thought very much aligned with our movie. But visually, just in terms of what the camera was going to see, Nick had such a baby face that he seemed younger than he was. It just bought you forgiveness. It just gave the audience, it gave a longer rope for Dave, just literally because of the structure of his face on camera.
Mira, did that work for you? Were you willing to forgive him because of his baby face?
How do you not? Jim just...
Yeah, look at that.
No, he's such a lovable person, like on and off, set. And so, yeah, totally. I mean, it totally informed the relationship, just who he is in general.
I really like that's so nice that everyone's... But I really like the part about Mira's character, actually, which I think is the most redeemable part of the movie, when you actually see that she wants Dave to succeed and to make something. And I just thought, like that's a trait that I would want in anybody. And I think that it really shows a great relationship, a strong relationship. And I think a lot of times you don't see good relationships and things,
Yeah, there is, it's so weird now. Like, there's a lot of discussion about this, like, taking failure and celebrating failure, and so it's kind of weird that this film is like, that your character is really like, you just can't get anything done, just can't get something finished, and of course ends up creating this whole magical world. Scouting the location, the box, like, how did you find this fort?
Well, who was the location guy?
Oh, God.
Wait, were you on a soundstage?
We were on a soundstage in Glendale, not a lot bigger than where we are right now. And I mean the upstairs, not the downstairs. It was tight. We never had any more than 2 sets up at any given time.
Yeah.
Everything the apartment was built as a set, and everything that you see was repurposed. The bedroom in the apartment became the mini maze, same 3 walls, 4 walls.
Yeah.
As soon as the set was wrapped, covered in cardboard, and it's the next thing.
Yeah.
It was nuts.
So when you're, like, describing that, in order to, I know it was like you're trusting in people's relationships and things like that, but there's a very solid vision. We're going to make this film within this cardboard fort that's bigger than it seems, and there's a Minotaur.
Right.
And James is going to film it from the inside, be the film within the film. Like, how do you, like, what do you do to get buy-in? Did you create like a lookbook? Did you create?
We had reference videos. We had filmmakers and films that we loved, but what happened with the cast, with production design, across the boards, someone read it and said, I get it. And I said, really? I said, no, I get it. Cool, I didn't think anybody was going to get it.
Yeah.
But everybody just got it. They got the time. I mean, we didn't have a table read. We didn't have anything in the way of rehearsals ahead of shooting. Cameras were rolling day one, and we were meeting people for the first time. And people were meeting each other for the first time. So, and that only worked because everybody got
That's
it.
true. And I didn't know you, but you sent it to me and offered me that part. And I, one's always a little worried when you're reading an independent film, well, any script. But there's a lot of low-budget movies that aren't really good. And so you always read with a little
That's a strong
trepidation, like,
stance.
some guy. First I thought, is it the guy who made Calvin and Hobbes? Then I Googled and quickly dispelled of that.
He did his own Googling.
Yeah. I call
misunderstanding.
people Google.
Yeah,
People Google.
and then I remember reading like the first couple pages, and I'm into like maybe the fifth page, and I said to my girlfriend, "This could be really interesting," and then it just got more interesting.
Yeah.
I went to the, it wasn't the premiere, but it was a screening and Q&A of Ned Rifle. I've always been a Hal Hartley fan for years, and as soon as I was sitting in the audience watching James, and I said, I have to have him. I have to have him.
Yeah. And at first I was like, I was wondering whether this was going to turn out to be like a social commentary on overconsumption and packaging. We were kind of like, I do some social impact stuff, and everyone's like, you got to make sure when you order from Amazon that you do like a whole bunch of stuff at a time. Right. So I was like, getting all these boxes coming in and creating something from it.
Well, I can say the 30,000 plus square feet of cardboard was all donated and repurposed. We used a lot of used cardboard. We didn't go out and buy anything fresh.
Very
And
good.
everything got torn down, got rebuilt the next day as something else.
Very good.
In fact, it was all used at the Women's March. It was all.
Every sign,
Down signs.
Cardboard.
State Minute Maid
Repurposed
sponsored the
cardboard.
Women's March.
There were some crazy outfits that could have been made from some of those.
Being on the set was amazing though, because we would shoot on these. Because the great thing about the film is it's all practical effects and amazing sets, so you're seeing stuff that's actually happening.
Right.
The camera's filming something that's actually happening at that moment, for
Right.
the most part. And we were in a parallel situation where each day we'd come in and they'd be like, okay, we finished this set, and then it would be an amazing thing to watch, and when things move and operate on those sets. And then, meanwhile, other sets were being built, and then when we finished shooting in one set, that would come down. And
We
so-
talked about it being like a daily Burning Man.
Yeah.
Because that day, the set wasn't even ready yet. We'd rehearse on a half-built set, send the actors to Vanities, build the set, bring them out, shoot it,
Right.
wrap the actors, and then destroy it on camera.
Right.
So the actors actually
Wow.
had a parallel sense of sort of wonder and discovery that the
Totally.
characters have in the movie, in the making of the movie.
That is pretty amazing because the puppeteers and everything that they made were real objects as opposed to a lot of the VFX that happens these days.
Right.
And also you had to get lubed up so that you could play the Minotaur body double in between scenes as well. But there's a certain risk associated with that too, like taking down the sets.
It was
being
it was
short.
kind of nightmarish. I mean, I couldn't be more proud, of course, but in the moment, it was always, is anyone going to get hurt? Is everyone comfortable? We would call cut and have to discuss sort of the intimate, emotional exchanges over drills, saws, hammers, while the thing next door was being built. So it was loud. It was very compact. We were on top of each other. It was not super comfortable. So the whole time, I was just worried that people were miserable.
Yeah.
Frankly.
That's right. Outside, the soundstage itself was in this kind of industrial part of Glendale.
Very
It was like
industrial.
factories, and I think there was one strip club.
There was, yeah.
I never went to. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't mean it.
You know, if you have a long lunch, yeah.
Yeah. But so all the stuff was a lot of the stuff was being built and painted outside the building where we shot. So you'd come in and see people creating stuff that you're going to be acting in a couple days.
There's also a homeless guy that lived in a van
There
that was drinking just a straight handle of Jack all the time, just like
Yeah.
What? And we're just like, back. Good day, sir.
Shooting in LA, so like everyone goes back to their regular lives at the end of the day. Is that kind of a weird thing to kind of come on set, do this kind of make-believe world that is so vivid, and then just go home?
The whole month was like it was a month of shooting, and it was
surreal,
it was very fast. Like I think we were all on board like less than a week before we started shooting. So it all just went by so fast. So,
20
maybe
days
we were
of
going back
principal.
to our individual homes, but we were coming right back the next day. And
Yeah,
it was really like just a adventure of a month,
It was, yeah, it felt just like a fun job. Like going to work.
Yeah,
I remember
makes
the
me
first-
so happy.
The
I thought
first
everyone
day,
was suffering
it was
so
a fun
badly.
job. No, I loved going to work every day on that.
the first
show.
day you came in, maybe you don't remember
That's
this.
my favorite story.
Everyone was kind of like walking around, and I'd been introduced to you, I think, and then you came up to me and you said, "Hey, I need a hard out at 7, so I just want to make sure."
Well, I didn't know who you were.
I know. No.
I don't remember this, but I said that to you,
No, because you needed to get out for a show.
and I
or-
thought you were like a PA or
Oh
something
yeah,
because of your baby face.
and I was like,
Yeah, I love it.
I go, okay.
And you got me, and I
Yeah,
appreciate
I went over to
it.
John. I was like, I think
Oh
James
my
needs to get out by
God.
7.
Because I remember seeing you eat lunch, and you were wearing your glasses,
And I ate like
it
a
was
commoner.
later, and I thought, oh shit, that's Nick Thune. And I'm sorry I didn't recognize you immediately.
No, we never met.
But yeah, we'd never met.
No, it was just so funny. It made me laugh. That came up in an interview the other day. And the first time I met you, we had to take pictures 5 minutes later
Yeah, like cuddling
on our
and
walls.
like
Yeah.
romantic
Right.
pictures. And
to
Build
like
up
show
the-
how the
yeah,
depth of
like
our
the
relationship.
By the way, could you get me a coffee?
Yeah.
So if you were to get lost in a maze, what country would you want to exit in?
I'd probably just say India because tickets are really expensive. You know what I mean? And I want to go.
I've
say-
had Myanmar on my head for. I just seen some photos recently that blew my mind. I don't even know anything about it. I just want to go.
I would want to come right back out into America because I think right now it's just, we're making it better, And I just want to keep on tone with that. And I think everyone on this movie agrees with that political standpoint.
That's right.
That's right. Yeah.
And
I would go to. Well, I'd come out in London, but I'd want it to be like the 17th century,
1863.
so I could see like a Shakespeare play by the original actors, because I'm a theater geek.
Well, I never wanted to impose that you all answered in rhyme, given the kind of moments in the film where people will try and outrhyme each other. But thanks for spending a few moments on this crazy journey with us.